Coffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to my instant match reaction to Spurs 2, Everton nil. Everton get a deserved defeat to a much superior Spurs side. We looked pretty solid, to be fair. We gave a okay account of ourselves, I'd say, like for the until the goal. The goal which changed the game came from Jordan Pickford making an error from a little daisy cutter of a shot. He spilled it out to Harry Kane and then takes him down for a penalty. A lot of debate around whether it was a penalty. There's some angles that suggest that maybe it shouldn't have been. Some suggest it's more obvious that it was. But either way, Harry Kane scores it. And then from that point on, we knew the jig was up basically because we are just absolutely toothless going forward. Eventually, Spurs got a second with about 5 minutes left. That's actually the first time that we've lost by 2 goals this season. It's the first time we've had any goal, any game by more than a 1 goal swing either way. So, it tells you about how we've been playing to try and keep it tight this season and to some varying degrees of success. But today was definitely not success. We deserve to lose this game. And quite frankly, I think we need to sort of try and keep this defensive solidity, but we need to start finding ways to attack more cohesively because we can't go through the whole season not having shots on target in an entire game, even against the better sides. Even against the best sides, the sides lower down the league can manage the odd shot on target in a game. Like, it's not good enough to not have a shot on target the whole game, regardless of who you're playing. We need to start being more cohesive in attack, but our attack is just pathetic. The rest of the team is generally quite solid. It's a massive improvement on last season, and of course, an improvement on the embarrassing performance we had at Tottenham last season. But still a long way to go for us because watching us attack is really, really torturous. We never ever looked like a threat. There was 2 opportunities we had. Was Damari Gray got in behind and skied it over the bar, and then Amadou Banana pounced on a mistake by Spurs, a rare mistake by Spurs at the back, went one-on-one with the keeper and also skied it over the bar. So we need to be a lot more clinical in attack. We need to just attack a bit more, I think. Granted, we played Spurs, one of the best sides in the league. Man United last week, again, one of the best sides in the league. We've got Newcastle next, who are doing well. Go to Newcastle, and to be honest, I don't really fancy us there. Especially if we perform like we have been recently, where we look so toothless, I think they'll pick us apart eventually. Similar to the way Spurs did today, they'll find a way through, and we won't have any answer to it once they do. It's bad because the best things we can hope for going into these games at the moment seems to be a 0-0. Every now and then, we do find a more cohesive attacking performance, like the Southampton away game, which was I think that's the only time we've scored more than once in a game this season. So that, again, that's something we need to address. In terms of the personnel, there's some decent performance. I thought Onana played well. Idrissa Gueye was, again, not himself. He wasn't. As we know, he's not the best passer of the ball, but he wasn't even breaking the play up as we know he can. He did take a booking, so maybe that kind of restricted his ability to impact the game. Bobby was okay, but then he had to move out wide again, and again that just sort of shunts his performance. McNeil was all right, and Gray was all right. They did what he could, but again, there's just nothing to aim at. Mopey was, again, poor, ineffective. I don't know how much of that's his fault. I don't think the system's getting the best out of any of our players at the moment up top. It's certainly helping us keep it tighter at the back, but at some point we're going to have to either stick or twist. And I think certainly, and maybe I don't know if Newcastle will be the time for that away, but we've got Palace at home after that. We certainly should be looking to win the home games without a shadow of that. We should be more attack minded. Beyond that, I think the defence was as solid as it could be. We kept them relatively quiet again. Beyond the 2 goals, I don't remember them being particularly threatening. Harry Kane had a good shot that Pickford saved. They weren't all over us like they were last season. So we are a lot more defensively solid this season, but it's not going to be enough until we start finding ways to score at the other end. Because yeah, it doesn't matter how tight you keep it if the other team finds a way, then we're immediately into a defeat because we haven't got the attacking prowess at the moment. Calvert-Lewin's obviously working his way back to fitness. Beyond that, Mopé's not reading the line well enough on his own. Rondon isn't effective at all. We need more personnel up top. January can't come quick enough, to be honest. We need attacking reinforcements. And if we do it, then I think we've got a good shot of putting some good performances together because the spine of the team behind it is pretty solid. Far cry from the spineless setup that we had last season and the spineless performances that came from that. There's definitely the makings of a better team here, but we still have a long way to go, and the attack needs to be improved. In the short term, that means players are going to have to put up their ideas up top. System might need to change, even if it is in the short term. And certainly come January, we do need to get some new faces in up top because we look really, really stale. Beyond that, I mean, it was generally it wasn't terrible. It was no one was really expecting a good result here. I don't think it was definitely one of the more nailed on. Certainly not getting a win at least. But it's probably one of the ones we expected to lose, and it's horrible to say that, isn't it? But they are like years ahead of us, and yeah, we just need to regroup and hopefully perform with a bit more respectability at Newcastle and actually have some shots on target because you know we can't continue not being a threat going forward. Eventually, it's just going to see us plummet down the table. We need to start scoring goals. Whether that means a little tweak to the system, we'll have to wait and see. But it's over to Frank Lampard to maybe make those decisions and hopefully get us firing again. So, like I say, it's on to Newcastle. I think that's a midweek game under the lights. That's going to be a tough game at St James's Park under the lights. They're going to really be up for that. And I do fear for us there. And you've just got to hope that we can keep it tight again and, break an ugly win because I think that's the only way we're going to win that game. And then hopefully, regroup at Goodison at the weekend, next weekend. So, yeah, this doesn't fill me with confidence, obviously, these sort of 2+ performances, but you just got to hope that it might click eventually and, it might take a bit more time. We'll just have to wait and see. There you have it, guys. Spurs 2, Everton 0. Let us know your opinions. At least Richarlison didn't score against us. I think everyone has a bet on that one to happen, but that's the silver lining, I guess. A very, very scant silver lining, but nonetheless. Spurs 2, Everton 0. Let us know your opinions. Drop us a comment, give us a like, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys, and it'll be very soon. Next time, we've got Newcastle come up very soon, so stay tuned, and thanks for watching until then on the Toffee Blues.